You're listening to The Manning Report with your host, James David Manning. The news behind the headlines.
Mueller never said Trump is fully exonerated. That's the thing that we need to know. And even though the Republicans and the fork tongue gang is trying to spin this as if Trump has been completely exonerated. Listen, everybody who's got at least one eye, who's got at least 20/40 vision knows that Trump has not been exonerated. He has not been. They know that. Even the Republicans know that. So why are they saying that? We saw Trump say, Russia, if you're listening, please tap into Hillary Clinton's emails. We saw Trump meet with Kislyak and Lavrov in the Oval Office and said that James Comey was a nut job. We're talking about the head of the FBI, was a nut job, and that he has fired him. And therefore, we don't have to worry about this Russia investigation anymore. We know that he fired his friend, Jeff Sessions, the man that stood with him when nobody else would stand with him, because Jeff Sessions would not stand and preside over being a protector of Trump. We know that he fired James Comey because he asked James Comey to go easy on Mike Flynn, to not prosecute him, to let him get away with, let him be above the law. We saw all of that. We know that Don Jr. said to Vaskamaskaya, if you got dirt on Hillary Clinton, I love it, bring it in, I want to hear it, I want to see it. We know that Jared, Paul Manafort, we know they met there in Trump Tower. All this we know. We know that Trump, according to Hope Hicks, gave direction on how to write what the report was about that meeting at Trump Tower. All of that we know, plus a bunch of other lies. We know that Manafort has been convicted of lying. Papadopoulos convicted of lying. We know that Mike Flynn, Rick Gates, we know that there have been 37 indictments. 13 Russians have been indicted. We know all of that. How on earth could Trump possibly be fully exonerated? You got to be some sort of a new fool. You got to be some sort of a new fool. I mean, all that we know. We already know all of that. But Trump knows that there's much more in that report that we don't know, than worse than what we do know. And what we do know is enough to convict anybody. What we do know, what we already know. But there's something in the report that's far worse, and that's why they don't want it released. It's going to be a long fight to get it released. And Trump may commit suicide if it is released. I don't know if you remember the Ken Starr event. And Ken Starr started out with Whitewater and ended up with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. And the Ken Starr report had a lot of transcript between Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. And it's salacious sex talk. Two people having sex, talking to one another, right? And it was pretty salacious. But it was in the report. Ken Starr put it in the report. So there's talk in this, and Ken Starr released it. And the Republicans demanded that it be released against Bill Clinton, and everything that Bill Clinton said was given over to the. Now it wasn't released to the public, but now all of a sudden the shoe's on the other foot. They don't want it released, but it will be released. The problem is I suspect Trump is going to commit suicide. Yesterday, I failed to make mention to our program director to pull up the segment where Trump was saying that what needs to be investigated is the oranges of this investigation. Now, what he wanted to say, the origins. Then he kept saying oranges. I'm listening. He said oranges. I listened twice.
I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings of that investigation. You look at the origin of the investigation. The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges.
And he's beginning to repeat himself more often now than he normally does. I think he's going to commit suicide. I think that Trump is going to commit suicide. I think that, I believe that Vladimir Putin is going to get on his case in such a way that I think Trump is going to commit suicide and try to declare it as the last noble act of saving America. I think he's going to do it. You know, I know a lot of people don't think he would do it. I know a lot of people think he's just too much of a narcissist to do it. And not that I want to entertain that much, but I think that this boy is in such deep trouble. I mean, and it's obvious. I mean, anybody who's watching, a lot of people don't pay a lot of attention to this, but I do because of what I do. But I think he's going to commit suicide. I think that Trump, the only way he's going to get out of what he is in right now is to commit suicide. And I also have the answer. You know, when I was allegedly, when I was not allegedly, but when I was against Obama, I'm still against Obama. I'm still a birther. And I was talking about Obama, and all the Hamite people, and Canaanite people, black people, African, Negro, colored people hated me, and a segment of white people enjoyed what I had to say and promoted what I had to say, and God named Obama the long-legged Mac Daddy. And it worked. What people on the other side of the fence now need to do is that they need to take the name Tribulation Trump. They need to start, you got to call Trump Tribulation Trump if you want to defeat him. That is the way, if people in the media, peripheral media, start referring to him as Tribulation Trump, all over everywhere, it'll defeat him. He's going to commit suicide anyway. He is. He's going to do it. I think when they bring down indictments against Jared and against Donald, Jared's father went to prison. Chris Christie, governor of New Jersey, put Jared Kushner's father in jail for real estate fraud. And he was a big-time fraudster. Got away with a light sentence, too, by the way. But he went to jail. Jared Kushner's father. He's a real estate fraud. All these guys are they're pickpocket men, right? Jared Kushner's father. But when Trump gets the news that that Don Jr. is going to jail, and Ivanka is going to jail too, they're going to put Ivanka in an orange jumpsuit. She may commit suicide. She very well may commit suicide. I count 9 months from now, this thing is going to be so nasty that, by Christmas time of this year, this whole process is going to be so nasty, blood is going to be running in the streets. I can tell you that right now. This is a bit of a news blog we do, looking at spiritual wickedness in high places for the most part, making some observations about it and giving people a biblical foundation to the way of interpreting, rather than have Sean Hannity or Laura Ingraham or Janine Pirro or Anderson Cooper or Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, Rush Limbaugh interpret what's going on in the world. You come to me and I'll tell you based on what the Word of God says. They'll just give you their worldly, sinful view. But the Manning Report will tell you what God has said, whether to say yea or nay, whether to go or to stay. You'll be led by the word of Almighty God. Come to the Manning Report on a daily basis to interpret the spiritual wickedness in high places, because there's plenty of it that's going on. And so I'm the Lord's servant, James David Righteous Rebel Manning, and I'm here to serve you with news and information.